Hello, my name is Kyle Evans. What makes a good fly fisherman? Is fly fishing fun? Is it worth the effort and time that you put in to do it? I'm here to answer those questions today. Fly fishing, many think, is something that is very hard, something that takes a lot of time to achieve. There are many things that make a good fly fisherman, but if done, anybody can be a fly fisherman. Why fly fishing? It is something that I have enjoyed since the time I was a little boy. My father has been a fly fishing guide for the past 25 years. I have fond memories of going out on the river with him in his drift boat and catching fish. It is some memories that I will never forget. It is also a lifelong hobby, something you can do and never get sick of. My grandfather, who is turning 80 years old this year, still goes fly fishing and loves to go with his grandkids and his kids. It is a legacy that he has passed on in a way that we have come closer as a family. So what makes a good fly fisherman? A lot of people look at it and think it is too difficult. There's a lot of line out and a lot of things that you need to know. Some people may think it's the gear that you buy, where you fish, all these things. I'm here to tell you 3 things that if you know will make you a good fly fisherman. The first is line control. The second, how to read the water. And the third, how to fight a fish. We'll start with line control. Fly fishing is different from other types of fishing like deep sea fishing or spinning fishing. With those rods, you flip a button and you throw the line out. Fly fishing, you have to be able to control the line over your head to ensure that you will catch fish. The first most important thing to do is to use your index finger to control the line. You'll hold the line in between your hand and your rod with your index finger. This will ensure that you will have the maximum distance that you want out and you'll be able to get a good cast every time. You also want to imagine in your head that you have a clock above you. You want to stop your cast at 10 and 2. If you do this, this will give the line time to straighten out and you'll be able to have accuracy when casting. You also want to pause in your back cast. When you hit 2, you have to pause to allow time for the line to straighten out entirely. If you don't do this, you'll get snags in the line. You could get caught up in trees or bushes and you'll have to stop and retie your line and put new flies on. The second thing to being a good fly fisherman is knowing how to read the water. You have to understand what fish want. Fish are looking for a place that has kind of a slower current where there will be a lot of bugs. A lot of times there will be little pockets in the water right behind rocks. It's best to look for spots where the water is running fast, then it hits a big rock and there's a pool of water behind it. Oftentimes fish will gather in these little pools and will sit there and wait. That's a way to ensure that you will catch a lot of fish. You also want to look for the best runs in the river, meaning a stretch of river that has these different types of things we're talking about like pockets. If you find a stretch of river with a lot of rocks, a lot of pockets, you will ensure that you will catch a lot of fish. They'll all be sitting in those little pockets. The third thing is how to fight a fish. A lot of people might think this is simple. You hook it, you yank on the line, and you catch a fish. That is not how it is done. If you do that, you will not catch fish. You will break your line, you'll snap your flies off, or the fish will just get off. There are a couple things to remember when fighting a fish. After you set the hook, you have to feel how heavy or how hard the fish is fighting. If it is fighting very hard, you have to let the fish run. This means letting it take more line and go where it wants to. It's important though, while you're letting it run, to keep the tip of your rod up and to keep the fish's head up. By doing these things, you ensure that the fish will not be able to dive into moss or mud, take a dart behind a twig or a rock, and break your line. If you do this, it will ensure that you will catch a lot of fish. Final thing to remember when talking about fly fishing is don't stress about all the little details. Get the gear, go out, practice a little bit in your lawn casting, and have fun. It's the best way to relieve stress. It's a great way to get out and enjoy some of God's creations and to catch some fish. I promise that as you do so, you will have a wonderful time. Fly fishing is one of the best ways you can spend your time and one of the best hobbies that you can have throughout the rest of your life. Thank you.